F45 challenge. Essentially, F45 challenge is a blueprint to help you improve and maintain your health. So it's not just about these 45 days, even though like this is where we're going to be hyper-focused. It's about helping you jumpstart that change and then helping you create some patterns and some new habits so that you can sustain that success, right? So by the end of this evening, my hope is that you'll have all the information you need to get rolling on the challenge, and that you'll feel confident going into next Monday, into the start of it. We want you to look and feel your best, not just about looking your best, again, about feeling your best, and that, involves a number of different components that we'll talk through. We want to help you incorporate new healthy habits, make good nutritional choices, and move your body through our training sessions, which are designed to help you achieve your goals. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about the 4 phases. The first phase can often be the toughest because that's when we're breaking some habits, and for each of us that's going to be different in terms of the things that come to mind about what do you do subconsciously or what do you grab for that maybe are habits you've created that you know aren't the healthiest. So I want you to be thinking about those over the next week. So the first 3 phases are 10 days, and then the final of the phases, the 4th, is 15 days. And that's called the 15-day sprint, or the World Series. So each of them has a name. First being spring training, second regular season, third championship rounds, and then that final one again, World Series. Each of those has an underlying theme to them that are supposed to help develop you further throughout the program. Weeks 1 and 2, again, really pivotal. We'll be shedding those unhealthy habits and vices and replacing them with better habits. That's the goal. And that does tend to lean itself towards somewhat of a detox. I know that word may have, a negative connotation for some, but, when you're cutting some things out of your diet that your body's used to having, you may be feeling that as a result. So just mentally prepare for that right now. Big ones to focus on: dairy, carbs, sugar, and caffeine. Those are often 4 that for many people can be, have an effect on your health, can be detrimental to your health. So we're definitely going to be focusing on those and limiting those to the largest degree we can. If you're not able to eliminate them altogether, just minimize them to the smallest amount. Again, for the first 2 weeks, we want to cut those habits, and then we can start to reincorporate some things like, I'm not going to stand up here and say like, don't ever drink caffeine, and no, don't ever drink alcohol, don't ever have sugar. Like, we want this, again, to be something that's sustainable. But those first 2 weeks, we kind of do want to be hardcore about making sure our diets are squeaky clean. Those things, the issue with them is that they often cause inflammation in our bodies, and that's going to keep your results from happening as quickly as we'd like. So we want to reduce that inflammation, fluid retention, and cleanse toxins from the blood and liver and eliminate those sugar cravings. So be mentally prepared for those first 2 weeks. Up here you may be able to see it, the tiny print, but probably not. It mentions 5 core building blocks that we'll be focusing on those first 2 weeks. First, determining goal-specific total calorie intake. We'll get to that a little bit more in depth later. Choosing your meal plan types. Some options that will be presented to you are mainstream diet, vegan, and vegetarian. So picking that in terms of diet, and then also the strategy, be that at home cooking, delivery, or local pickup. And again, we'll talk about each of those options as well. Third component of the 5 core building blocks: quality sleep, hydration, and then of course the training, which hopefully we're getting into a good rhythm and routine here, and our team is helping you with that. So I know for me, the biggest one for me is hydration. So again, all of our goals may look slightly different, and that's largely in part what your journals are for, is to help you go through that process of identifying your goals. It walks through SMART. Some of you may have heard the acronym before, S-M-A-R-T, and how you really can be effective at goal setting. So that will be definitely a big part of the process the first 2 weeks as well. Training weeks 3 and 4, after we transition out of detox, transitioning down to define, focusing on high protein, minimal carbs and caffeine, and working on creating lean muscle tone and healthy fat loss, continuing to reduce inflammation and boost immune function. And then weeks 5 and 6, the recommendation is no carbs, working on stripping fat, enhanced muscle recovery, and then re-stimulating the metabolism. So
when you say carbs, you don't mean vegetables.
Vegetables, right.
Okay.
Starchy.
So I will have nothing.
Starchy carbs. Yeah. Especially for you. Yes.
Just checking.
Good clarification. Yes, obviously every vegetable on the planet has carbs in it. So those don't qualify. This is more generalizing towards like the white starchy carbs that don't have a lot of vitamins and minerals in them, and that are more calorie dense. So at the end of the 45 days, we transition into a maintenance phase with balanced carbs, protein, fat, which is really how we should be living when we're not living in a calorie deficit and trying to cut fat, right? So that stage, the maintenance phase, is 100% necessary and important for us to learn how to master that as well. So we will continue to give you tools as we get closer to that on how to be successful in the maintenance phase. You should utilize your challenge app as a resource for calculating your individual BMR and total daily energy expenditure. You'll see that once we get into the app. And you also are going to track in that app your training and your nutrition routine. So there is it's as much a mental checklist as it is physically going in there and every day saying like, yes, I achieved my goal to drink the water that I need to on a daily basis. I got my 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I stuck to my nutrition plan and I hit my training today. So I'll show you that on the screen too, and we'll go over that to make sure that everybody knows how to use that comfortably. The app is just a major part of our accountability process in addition to what we can provide here in studio and through our coaches. So please use it daily in addition to the journals that we'll be handing out. All right, so while we're talking about the app and what's in there, the main tools again: learn, track, train, and eat. It's accessible in the app, also just on the web, the interwebs. So if you're at a computer, you can just go to the challenge website and see the same exact resources there. Available for Apple and Android, so there should not be an issue there. If you've not yet created your account on the challenge app, please do so. Normally, you can use your same login that you use for the booking app here as well, but it may ask you to create another one, which is no problem. Just make sure you can get logged in. If you have any issues, let us know. The app does also often introduce new features, so just update it. They're continually making it better, which has been exciting to see, including at some point they say we're going to be able to book classes straight through that app, and also we'll integrate the heart rate training into that app as well. So hopefully they're working towards consolidating some of these apps since we have so many. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, we're going to dive into the learn portion of the app. Lots of really great, awesome resources in here that I hope over the next week and continuing forward you dive into. Even this first one, right? Like feeling unmotivated. 5 science-based ways to restore motivation. All of us have been there when we have days where our body's not necessarily feeling it. And through this challenge, most of you know you're committing to work out 4 days in studio with us. So you're probably gonna have some moments like that. So dig through this part of the app to, continue to stay motivated and to find little tips and tricks and ways to continue to be successful. Immense amount of information in there. There will be articles that correlate specifically with what phase of the challenge we're in. So stuff that's related to phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. And you can even share the resources in here. So there's like this little up icon. So, amongst your team, the red team and the blue team, if you find something that's really good, you can absolutely easily share it with your team members. We encourage that. All right. Train. Again, we kind of got this part down here in studio, so there's not much that you have to think about other than like get your booty in the door, right? Like show up. And hopefully our team gets that music cracking and our team is here cheering you on the whole 45 minutes. But there was just a little bit of background that I wanted to share here. For those of you who don't know, F45 was created in Australia, and the main components of F45, what make it special, are the fusion of it being functional, high intensity interval training, and circuit. And that's kind of the basis of where like all the different workouts revolve around. Right now there's about 45 different unique workouts that F45 has in its database. And as you know, they're continually changing the movements that build up those workouts, so you never do the same workout twice. And they add new workouts all the time. So Double Down, which some of you will see on Sundays, a brand new workout. They usually introduce at least one new workout every calendar phase. So always new stuff on the horizon. In general, even outside of the challenge, our recommendation and the corporate recommendation from F45 is that you participate in at least 4, 5 is better, workouts per week to achieve positive health and fitness outcomes. So if you're in here less than that, it is hard for us to necessarily guarantee, that you're gonna see results and that you are gonna cut body fat. So hopefully all of you are aiming for 4, if not 5 workouts per week. And then of course that challenge app too, as most of you know, allows you to train virtually. So if you're traveling for work, on vacation with family, you can work out literally anywhere in the world with no equipment. So you've got great workouts at your fingertips. Okay, now we're into kind of more of the meat of the app, the daily tracking. So you have it on you, you're welcome to pull it up and take a look at that tab. The tracking dashboard and progress charts act as an interactive component for members to stay accountable and motivated during the challenge period. Monitoring your progress provides a sense of direction and accountability to set daily health goals while also allowing the ability to reflect on your improvements. So that's pretty motivating when you can look back and see at how many workouts you've completed. Look at if you're looking back on your measurements, looking back on your body fat percentage, and you're seeing incrementally over time the improvements that you're making. There's not much better satisfaction than seeing your hard work achieve those results. Tracking food consumption, your training and hydration and sleep is pretty key for these 45 days to ensuring that these healthy behaviors translate into long-term healthy habits. So I hope that you guys do utilize this tracking tab on a daily basis. Again, you'll be checking off there's a box for eat, train, water, and sleep. So when you check the box for the eat tab, there's not really a gray line about staying within your caloric plan. If you're 50 calories over and you know that you are, you shouldn't be checking that box to say that you've stuck within your caloric range for that day. For these 45 days, it's really pretty specific. So you're going to need to be paying attention to that, and we'll talk more about how to do that. The training is anywhere from 0 to 60 minutes. You'll just have a slider button. You can put in exactly how many minutes you worked out for the day. For water, there's a range of 0 to 3 liters. You're supposed to drink at least 2 liters of water a day. And then sleep, 7 hours or more. So those are your goals, 7 hours or more of quality sleep, and then over the 2 liters of water, at least 45 minutes of training, and then eating within your caloric range specific to you and your goals. And I do apologize that most of it is in not in imperial, it's in metric. So you'll have to do some conversions there. But basically a liter is about 33 ounces, right? Or 4 1/4 cups. So maybe like 8.5 cups of water a day, which should be doable for most of us. Yeah. Okay, a little more on stats. The physiological changes don't necessarily happen right away, so I just wanted to mention, we don't want people to be discouraged in the first 2 weeks if you don't feel like you're seeing immediate changes. All of our bodies are gonna adapt at a different pace and in a different way. So in terms of weight loss, fat loss, we're all gonna lose it in different areas faster than others as well. So that's why we encourage you to take full body measurements at the beginning of the challenge. So in the app, there's a guide for how to do that when you're putting in your individual measurements. So you can accurately get those measurements for all the limbs of the body that it wants you to track. And I do have tape measures at the front desk that you guys can borrow to utilize for that. I think I would like for them to stay in studio just so they don't go missing. But you're welcome to use those here, and that way you can get those put into your app at the beginning of the challenge. You may lose inches before you lose weight. That's not uncommon. So again, like one of the important reasons to measure. That's a great sign because that means that you're swapping some of that body fat for muscle, and that's absolutely what we want to see. Developing lean muscle in the initial stages of training will boost your metabolism and improve the rate at which fat is lost overall. Okay, now let's get into the more calorie specific portion. So the calorie calculator in the app provides you with your individual challenge goal specific daily calorie target based on your BMR. So it calculates your BMR and then also your TDEE, which is your total daily energy expenditure, based off of your consistency with your workouts. So you'll put in there whether you're working out moderately, whether you're working out higher than that. So for most people, we're going to be in the moderate range, which is the 3 to 5 times per week. That's what I recommend you put in that. We can chat further if you think you don't fit within that category. When you onboarded and when you created your account, you should have put in your individual stats, but please check that information. So there is this BMR calculator, this tab right here in track, and then calculate BMR, and that's where you put in your individual stats, being like your height, your weight, gender, all of that, and that's going to help calculate that's the algorithm that helps with the output of your calories that you should be consuming on a daily basis. So even throughout the challenge, if you've lost a decent amount of weight, even 5-10 pounds, make sure you go in and update those statistics because it's going to change the recommendation. Okay. I thought there might be a question about what if the caloric recommendation in the app differs slightly from what was determined in your individual nutrition consult that we've been doing. So if you've had an in-body scan and done a nutrition consult, we do a tailored daily calorie intake recommendation, and I'm going to recommend that you use the one that we provide, because by utilizing the in-body, we get your specific BMR, and the BMR that's in the app is a slight estimation because it doesn't know your body fat percentage. So what we get off the in-body is even more specific and more accurate. They should be relatively close. So again, use the one that we provided you, and you just may have to make some slight tweaks to your nutrition plan and the way that you eat, keeping that in mind. So does that make sense? Hopefully. Okay, got it. And one of the components of getting started is doing a one-on-one consult meeting with your team leader, either being Delana or myself. So if there are any questions about any of this, I want you to all feel rock solid in how many calories per day you should be consuming so that you're confident in the strategy that you're picking. We can talk about that in your individual one-on-ones. So keep that in mind. Okay, the good part, we're gonna talk about eating a little bit more. 3 main options that we're gonna talk about tonight: customized meal plans within the challenge app, so cooking from home. Second, F45 challenge meal delivery service. You can get pre-packaged, pre-portioned, balanced meals from F45 through our meal partner that's nationwide. So, and those come frozen. I think they say fresh on the website, but in my experience, they have been frozen. So, and
freshly frozen.
Freshly, yes. I'll give some more feedback on that. And then the last option is to utilize our preferred local business partners, or some combination of the above. So for you, you may want to cook some meals at home and utilize some of the recipes within the app, but also, get some meals from some of our local meal providers. So I think it's this is your recipe to kind of create and play with and see what's successful for you. I don't want it to be overwhelming. That's why we're providing options, and happy to talk through that more too in your one-on-ones. Okay, so the way that F45 has configured these meals really is pretty good. It's based on solid nutrition and a good combination of macronutrients, vitamins, minerals. So I'm confident that regardless of the approach that you choose, based on the 3 that we're providing, they're going to provide you with really great solid nutrition to fuel your workouts here. What's great about the challenge meals is that they do use great organic produce. It's all grass-fed beef, farm-raised chicken. So there are quality ingredients in those delivered meals, and the recommendations in the recipes are all really solid nutrition. So I don't think you can go wrong there. It just may be more time consuming, of course, to do that cook from home option. Okay. I actually want to go back to this slide real quick. The customized meal plan. So how this algorithm in the app works. Basically, it adjusts the menu in the app to a specific calorie bucket within 1 to 200 calories of your daily target obtained from the calorie calculator. So the calorie buckets range from, at the very bottom, 1,300 calories per day up to 3,000 calories per day. So, and you can choose your goal in there. Your goal does not have to be to lose weight. I mean, I want to be pretty clear about that, right? Your goal throughout this 45-day challenge can absolutely be to maintain weight, or it can be to build muscle. And so depending on which of those 3 options that you choose, it's going to adjust your daily calorie suggested intake. And then with the meal plan customization, you don't need to make any adjustments necessarily. You might have to do like some fine tuning, be it like 50 to 100 calories, depending on how close that calorie bucket gets you to your specific daily intake. But it'll give you breakfast, lunch, dinner, and your 2 snacks for the day, and all of the recipes for the week. Here's a quick example. So a 26-year-old female has a recommended daily calorie intake of 1,392 calories a day. This particular member will automatically be placed in the 1,300 to 1,400 calorie bucket. So each daily meal plan will sit between 1,300 and 1,400 calories, depending on the specific meals for that day. So, and there is an opportunity to swap some meals, but I'll get to that later in terms of, how you should be careful with that. Again, if you've lost a decent amount of weight, even 5 pounds, go in and update your statistics, and it will recalibrate that calorie total and your recipes that build up your daily meal plan. Okay, so the mainstream meal plan versus like the vegan and vegetarian, I just picked the mainstream since that's probably the most common one. It's a macro balanced meal plan that incorporates healthy portions of complex carbohydrates, quality fats, and lean proteins. So I just thought I'd pull some examples of like what you might expect to see on a daily meal plan. So for example, a mainstream breakfast from one of the healthy bowl items, maybe like a chia peanut butter bowl, and there's a chocolate peanut butter porridge, or a protein-rich egg recipe like zucchini and avocado omelet or Turkish scrambled eggs. So there's something, on the egg side, and then something on a little more sweet side with like one of those bowls, the chocolate peanut butter porridge. And then mainstream lunch, a variety of protein bowls and soups, like lots of selections of nutrient-packed salads. Dinners, proteins flavored with a variety of herbs and spices. Dishes include teriyaki salmon with sweet potato and broccoli to a black bean and beef dish. Broccoli and beef dish with broccoli, carrots, and brown rice. Excuse me. So again, your daily meal plan is going to include breakfast, a morning snack, lunch, evening snack, and dinner. And there are options. If you toggle around with the options in there on the back end, you can choose a low carb meal plan, a higher carb meal plan, higher protein, low fat, and low sodium. So if you have preferences in any of those areas, it will recalibrate the recipes that it provides you as well. You can even adjust the servings, the cook time. You can, just search for recipes that are less than 20 minutes. It really is pretty user friendly. If you are planning to swap meals, I hit on this a little bit earlier. They need to be from the same phase or the same week. You don't want to be reaching forward or into past challenges, because you have access to all of the previous challenge recipes. You don't want to be picking a recipe from the final phase of the challenge, because the recipes are specific to the phase of the challenge that we're in, be it phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. So if you're going to swap out a recipe that doesn't sound enticing, pick one that's within the same week of a previous challenge or within the same challenge. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, cool. And then of course, if you're swapping other foods, proteins, like if you don't eat fish, try to find something that's as equivalent from a macro perspective, in terms of grams of protein, in grams of fat, and likewise. So pay attention to that. If you're still hungry at the end of the day, that can be a frustrating thing. So have some healthy things, quick and easy at hand. You can boost any of your meals with non-starchy roasted vegetables. So you can add to it in that regard safely and feel comfortable doing that. Some other quick options, they provided vegetable sticks with salsa, and then also even just like tea at night, ginger and green tea, warm water with lemon. Not the most, satisfying calorie dense things, but try to find some things like that will keep you from reaching from those things that you might typically reach for at 10:30 at night. And then after that, if you're still hungry, the recommendation is to add 1 protein shake or an extra 3 to 5 ounces of lean protein. So chicken breast, white fish, lean turkey, something like that. So definitely don't want you all feeling famished. Okay. All right. Meal delivery service. Just wanted to give you guys a little more feedback on this. The main benefit of the meal delivery service that F45 has is obviously that it saves you the most amount of time. It's the most convenient. I've had probably a dozen of the meals, and I'll always give you guys honest feedback whenever I try anything from F45. And I think the meals are pretty good quality. They are fairly expensive for, a single meal. I think depending on the coupon code that you get at the time, you can get 30 to 40% off, but they're still going to run you anywhere from like $12 to $15 a meal, about even for, some of the breakfasts that are later and only 250 calories. So, but for somebody that really needs the convenience, and that's the most important thing, your resource that you're the lowest on is time, it's a great option to have, and they're great to have in the freezer for when you need something super quick to throw in your lunch. So I've liked having them as a backup option. And then I think you'll just learn like which of those meals you enjoy and which you don't. Like there are definitely some that I really like and others that I could have once and not go back to. I wouldn't be mad about it. So usually it's pretty easy to find discount codes online. So even if you go straight from the app, there's a link right in the app to order meals. I think the first thing you see is like a 30% off code usually. So definitely use that. Okay, and then the last of our meal plan options, if you're not cooking from home, utilizing the recipes in the app, you're not ordering the meals delivered to your front door, is to work with one of our local meal providers. So our main one that we're partnering with for the challenge is Kona Bento, and I'm gonna have Tiffany come on up. She's the owner, and she's gonna explain to us about the meals that she can provide, how you sign up, what's in them, and kind of even some of her expertise behind nutrition.
So,
go over.
Gosh, this is so amazing that so many people are joining this challenge. I love it. I love to see that so many people are passionate about fitness, just as I am. So Kona Bento, I have had for about 4 years. I started it on my own, and it's basically Hawaiian food, so lots of rice, teriyaki, things like that. But I am a fitness competitor, And so I wanted to reach out to people and be able to provide healthy meals as well as the delicious, horrible things. Just to help people reach their goals as well. And so what I've done is on the side, I started to meal prep for people. And I tailor each meal per client. So what I basically do is I have a little interview, talk to them over the telephone or email, and find out what your sensitivities are, what your goals are, and if you have your macros set. And then we can see how many meals you want and see what we can do for you. Each of my clients pick up twice a week, and there's no minimum, just as long as you remain regular and stick to your plan. Then we have, a really simple time getting through everything. My costs are very, very low, just because I want everyone to be able to have the option to do, have healthy meals. So basically, it just depends on the amount of protein you want and how much protein. And then in addition to carbs or vegetables. And we can, I noticed that there's different phases, and we can also, follow those phases and help you cut when it's time to cut. And so, yeah, I'm here for you guys if you'd like me to provide you services. And I've got a sign-up sheet in the back, and just for your emails, and I will get a hold of everyone who signs up tonight so that we can just get going on everything. But that's pretty much my background, what I have to offer.
In general, what does the meal plan options that you provide look like?
Right, so it consists of anything you want. So if you don't want carbs, we can just do vegetables and meat. If you're vegetarian, if you're vegan, we can tailor it that way as well. My sister is vegan, so we do have some pretty good recipes for vegan options. I personally love meat, so the meat's really delicious too. But yeah, and I like to keep it simple. So a lot of things are really plain, and then it'll come with sauces to put on it, so you can actually control the flavor. For me, sodium intake is really important. I don't want much sodium at all. Some people love it, like you said. As long as you're hydrated, you're good to go with sodium. Everyone will differ, and you'll find through this process that some people, like you said, may want higher fat options, others lower, others no carbs, other people's bodies love carbs. So just to be able to tailor each individual's meal to what they need. So it looks like basically a carb, a protein, and a vegetable. But if you prefer carbs and just vegetables, that's fine too. You just need to let me know what kind of nutritional value you need to meet for that specific meal or for the day.
And each meal, you put a label on it that shows the macronutrient breakdown and the calorie breakdown?
Yes, so I used to do every single thing, sodium, sugar, everything like that. And it gets so time consuming. That's a full-time job in itself. And we're so busy that I basically only do calories, carbs, fat, and protein. And if you really need me to, I'll do the sodium, but it does get tedious. So
yeah, that definitely hits the high points.
Yes.
I think if you're taking in that information and paying attention to those 4 things, we should see success.
Right.
And in general, right, options of protein are, what are your options?
So we've got steak, chicken. We can do chicken thighs, like I said, depending on the fat. Boneless, skinless chicken breast. We can do any type of fish. The cost varies.
Yeah.
I'll do halibut. I'll do tilapia, which I hate, but I won't. But people can eat that. You see some people eating tilapia and broccoli or tilapia and spinach every single day, and they'll stick to it. And some people need variety. They can't stand having the same meal every day. So there are cheap ways to get through this if you don't mind specific things or eating the same thing all the time and things like that. But we can always find different options too in order to create variety.
Your options for carbs too, I expected there to just be rice, but there's more than just rice.
Yes, yeah, just sweet potatoes, we have quinoa, we have couscous, which is okay, but it's more kind of like a pasta. So brown rice, yeah. What else do I have? Well, I do a baby potato, like a creamer potato, and then I roast those with garlic. So
even that's a good variety, in terms of your starchy carb.
Yes, because potatoes can be inflammatory, but there are specific ones that you can have in moderation. Sweet potatoes are great. You can eat that with every meal. I only eat 2 ounces per meal for myself, but some people can do 5, 8 ounces. It just depends, and everyone's different, so it's important to know your body.
And your prices are really reasonable, so they start around like $6-ish, right?
$6 is the cheapest ingredients. 3-ounce meal, so it would include 3 ounces of protein, half a cup of vegetables, and half a cup of carbs, and then it would go up from there.
Yeah. Okay, any questions for Tiffany at the moment about her options?
Yeah.
What are your pickup dates?
Monday and Wednesday. And so I would ask that people put in their orders by Friday and Thursday, so that I'm able to get, not Friday, Thursday, Tuesday and Friday, so that we're able to get everything out on time. Sometimes holidays do affect pickup days. We'll push them 1 day earlier instead of later. But yeah, and if you do need specific days as well, like if you don't only want to pick up 2 days a week, if you like things really fresh, I can arrange daily pickup if you want. But really, it's kind of difficult to store everything because I do try to cook it the day before pickup. So.
Okay. And your location for pickup?
Yes, so I'm on Table Rock Road, just up the street from Costco, 4510 Table Rock Road. And we're only drive-through. We do have a little gazebo that you can sit in, but it's drive-through, and I'm there all the time, so if you need to pick up early, that's fine, but we're open 10 to 6 Monday through Friday, and 11 to 3 on Saturday.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Of
So much for
course.
reading. Okay, so hopefully between one of those 3 options, you guys feel like are starting to think about how you might want to strategize, at least for the first couple of weeks, and play with it, and find a mix that works for you. I also wanted to touch briefly on protein treats. I think that it's fun to have a healthy, higher protein, lower sugar, treat option. The first couple of weeks, we're gonna wanna stay away from some of that stuff as we're just, working on stripping sweets from our diet. But especially, getting towards the middle of the challenge, and into your maintenance phases too, it's nice to have something so you don't feel like you're deprived of, the little treats here and there that kind of keep you from maybe falling totally off the bandwagon. So, whether that's for you like a glass of wine, or something like this that's a very, calorie contained treat that still tastes really good. I think it's fun to be able to provide you guys with some of these resources as I find them. And the gal that owns Proline Treats does really good quality treats, and she provides all of the nutritional breakdown too, which is pretty cool, and I feel like the taste factor is definitely there. So we'll put out samples at the table so you guys can try some of the cake on the way out. She did individual samples of the chocolate cake and of her confetti cake. And I think a whole slice of it, if you were to order a slice, is 128 calories, so really, really reasonable. You could fit that, into your day as a treat and still be within your caloric goals, as long as you're paying attention to your other intake throughout the day. She does change her menu on a monthly basis, so just as an FYI, going forward, if you want to continue to order from her, so she has a set menu for June, which is on the back table as well. So in addition to cake, she does like protein donuts. In this month, there's also some lemon bars, and some, I want to say there's like cookies and cream truffles. I have not had a chance to try all of it. I've only got a chance to try the cake, but from what I hear, they're pretty dang good. So we partnered with her as well, and there is a sign-up sheet on that back table. Depending on demand from our studio, she may do a special delivery just for our studio. She lives in Klamath, if I didn't mention that. So she usually comes over to Medford and does delivery twice per month. The next one that's on tap for delivery is the 18th of June, so just keep that in mind in terms of your order. Or if we have enough people that order, she may again just do a separate delivery of her own and come here earlier than that. So delivery date's a little bit up in the air, but would definitely be fun, to have something, a sweet treat to try that's going to be a healthier option. And then I also put up here Northwest Pineapple. They're a great supporter of ours in trying to help provide a quick, easy, meal option. It is lower in calories, so it's not going to solely replace a meal. But if you need a quick recharge after a workout here and you don't have something at the ready, Northwest Pineapple and our Recharge Protein Smoothie is a good option to have. It is a little bit higher in carbs. You could probably ask for it to be less sweet, and you can knock down some of that carbs if you're paying attention to macros. Not everybody that's going to be the case. So, and then now too, just as a final add-in, you guys probably all already know that a lot of the food chains nationally, you can find their calorie information pretty easily. So like Baja Fresh, Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, you can get decently healthy and well-balanced macronutrient meals at those places. So just because you're eating out convenience doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be, a terrible choice. Not the best choice probably because of like the sodium and the other oils and stuff that they use, but you can definitely, not totally fall off your plan by looking up some of those nutrition information. I know that when I was looking at Baja Fresh, I was pretty impressed with some of the fresher, leaner taco options that they had, even for breakfast. So you're not banned to cooking at home entirely. And then in terms of the calorie tracking part, if it's overwhelming for you to journal and keep track of your calorie intake throughout the day, MyFitnessPal is the best app that I've used if you want to electronically keep track of, you could put in the calories from your chia chocolate pudding that you made in the morning, in this app, again, if you don't want to write it down. So I won't get deep into this because this app is a whole thing of its own, but it's pretty easy to use, very user-friendly. There is a free version that's pretty great, or you can do a paid version that just has a little bit more enhanced features. So let me know if anybody's struggling with that, let us know and we'll help, talk through that some more. Okay, we're getting close to the end here, guys, and then we'll do some Q&A at the end. I want to talk a little bit more about these journals. So, Delana, if you help me pass these out here. You look at one. When you take it home tonight, be sure to put your name in it because I'm sure these will be floating around, and I want to make sure that nobody loses track of theirs. So, first page here, put your name in there. Just a couple of sections I want to point out. Main homework for you guys is just to take this home and explore it over the next day and look at the different resources in here and get an idea of how you're going to use it. In the beginning, the first few pages are all about goal setting and kind of just a refresher on how do you set yourself up for success when you're in the goal setting phase. I really do want you guys to be intentional about writing down your goals. If you know that red wine is kind of one of your things that you struggle with, put in here, no red wine, no wine for the first week, 2 weeks. Be aggressive with your goals. I'm not going to say no alcohol throughout the 45-day challenge because I don't want people running for the hills and saying, we hate this challenge and I'm out. We hate it too. I'm out. Yes. But again, let's use this as an opportunity to recalibrate some of our habits. If that means, scaling back from 12 glasses of wine a week, down to 2 or 3, yeah. We want to be reasonable with these goals too, so we're not angry. There's a before challenge checklist in here also early on. So your in-body scans throughout the challenge are going to be quick. We're not going to do the in-depth, walk you through all the results. I think a lot of you who have had one have had us do the more intensive 15-minute, walking through the results. If you've not had an in-body, then we definitely will give you the time and walk you through the full report. But if it's for the purposes of the challenge, and if you've already had one, we're just going to put you up on the scanner, just so we can get that body fat percentage, and then keep a copy in your file here, because that's going to help us when we get towards the end in terms of identifying our overall winners. So on your checklist, there are in-body scans, your one-on-one consult to schedule that with your team leader. That's not required, but definitely encourage it. It's time for you to utilize And then Delaney and I will supply each of the team members with a link from Calendly. That's just a kind of like a software feature that allows you to easily schedule on Delana or I's calendar. So we'll provide that link to you to schedule those one-on-one consults. And then also, there's some great learning and education tips in here. And then the vast majority of it is planning your individual days and your individual weeks. So, for just an example, we'll look at one particular day. Here is plan your week number 3, and it gives you Monday through Sunday, and you have like a little option to put down to-do list, like pick up my meal from Coda Bento, or whatever, or pick up all the groceries that you need to do your meal prepping from home. So that's your overall week overview there. And then on the subsequent page, every single day you have a box for favorite meal of the day, favorite station at F45, very important. Positive thoughts, and I'm grateful for. Any of you that have done gratitude journaling know what a positive impact it can have, even if you take 5 seconds to think about, what today went well, what am I grateful for? This, I think, is an important part of the challenge too. It's just like taking a moment to kind of consolidate your thoughts for the day. Like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? What am I trying to achieve? What am I grateful for? All of that. So this is a good opportunity for you to really spend a few moments thinking about that. And then you also are going to be journaling your meals. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then your snacks in here too, just so you can plan that out in a little more detailed fashion. Yeah. So I hope that you guys enjoy these. We'll be looking for feedback on them and how it goes throughout, and if we should continue to do them for other challenges. Teams. We do have a red team and a blue team that are forming. Get out of here. Team names, I think, do need to happen. So amongst your own teams, probably by the end of the week, those should be decided so that we can kind of roll with those. So you can throw ideas out on your group chat. Delaney and I are going to set up private Facebook groups. She's going to run the blue team, I'm going to run the red team, and invite you all to it. I think that's the easiest way for us on a regular basis. If you have questions, just to encourage each other, to provide resources, like just to share that amongst your team and to cheer people on to show up for your workouts. And to participate in the different challenges that we'll have. The team points will be awarded based on attending the 4 workouts per week and the body scans. So when you're here on a daily basis at the end of your workout, you can go over to your team board and mark off your workout. Same thing for your in-body scans. If you will be out of town, you do need to, if you're wanting to get credit for a workout through the challenge app, you need to take a video of yourself doing it, or have a family member do it, or snap a picture and then throw it online on either Instagram or Facebook and tag us in it so that either Delaney or I see it, and we'll make sure to give you credit for that workout.
Is it Monday through Sunday of the week?
You mean in here in the studio?
4 days of working out, is it Monday through Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah. It's a good question. It is a good question. Yeah, because the challenge starts on Monday. Let's change that to Sunday. Yeah, I think since the board's organized for Sunday start, so let's just do it Sunday and Saturday.
So our challenge starts on Sunday?
No, it starts on Monday.
That's weird, right?
Yeah. That first week, yeah. I hadn't thought about that. That's a good question. Yeah, if I change my mind on that, I'll let you know. Some of this stuff, the first time through, we're gonna learn a lot. Yeah, and they usually start the calendar phases on a Monday, so, gosh. I'll think about that some more and confirm, but I want to say let's do Sunday to Saturday. and I'll go through this because that first week will be tricky. Okay. What else in terms of teams? Games that we're going to be planning on doing. There's a really fun bingo game that we're putting together for the first couple of weeks. And then we're also going to do a version of Hunger Games that will have you break it into a little bit smaller teams amongst your team as well. So I'm not going to give you too many details there because I want some of this to be a surprise and to keep you guys on your toes. And some of it's going to be on the fly too, just based on like how it goes and how like the response is, and like we're just going to have fun with it at the end of the day. So I hope that you guys are excited about that. And then in the final sprint, the last 15 days, there are daily challenges too that headquarters will release that we'll have some fun with too. So like for example, usually they're in 45-second challenges of like performing some type of move and trying to hit a benchmark within 45 seconds. So it will be fun to see what they come out with, you know, and if we can hit those. Okay, eligibility for prizes. A lot of you guys have seen, since we've done you know, a decent amount of social media posts for a bunch of the prizes that we've gathered. There's some really fun stuff in here, especially a lot for the ladies in terms of like beauty and aesthetics, and I mean massage. There's all sorts of stuff in here. Lots of great gift cards. So I mean, some of it will just be based on like enthusiastic participants, and then some will definitely be performance-based, you know, for achieving a high mark of excellence in some way, or for winning some of the challenges. So I'll probably often take a vote from my trainers and say, you know, like who killed it today or who crushed it in studio, and it's just going to be fun to give all of those out. We're looking forward to that. There will be a winning team prize at the end. Haven't decided what that is yet, but you definitely will have some kind of swag for that. And then our end of challenge party will just be a pretty great time. We're looking forward to that, and we'll get you more details as we get a little bit closer. The photos, of course this poor guy, who gets to be our example here. Headquarters does require photos. I'm not going to be as much of a stickler on that, but I do definitely encourage it, and I hope that you guys do it. There are instructions in the app on how to do that. I think you could definitely just benefit from having that side by side. We can do it when you do your body scan if you'd like, upstairs in the privacy of the office upstairs, and help you just do it, because you're not going to want to do it in a selfie format. It's just not going to work. And obviously, as we've already talked about, you're committing to work out in studio 4 times a week. Unless you're traveling and you need to do the challenge workouts via the app virtually. If there's any, you know, complications with that, we can talk separately as well. You can talk to your lead coach. And then those 3 in-body scans. So one at the beginning, one at the middle, one at the end. And I hope when we have that middle one, we can say that you're on track, you know, and that you haven't already fallen off by then. But that's what that's for, you know, because sometimes that conversation needs to be had too, if you're struggling. Okay. So body composition scan, this is just a little more information on that and specifics around it. Normally when headquarters does a global prize, that window is tightened for that pre-challenge scan because they want everybody to be within 3 days of the start of the challenge. We're opening it up a little bit because they're not doing the global prize right now because of COVID. So you have this whole week to get that first in-body scan in, but it has to be no later than June 8th. So make sure you get that done. Otherwise, if you don't meet these standards, you're not qualifying for the grand prize basically at the end, the package that we'll give out to our overall winner. The midway scan must be done between June 28th and July 2nd. And then the post-challenge scan must be done on the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd day following the final challenge day. So the final challenge day is July 21st, and it has to be done in the 3 days succeeding that. So that's just to make it, you know, as fair as possible for everybody. When we are looking at the overall body composition changes and trying to select a winner, the plan is to base it just off percent body fat change, but you know, that's open too. Sometimes I think we can see dramatic results in other ways, and so we'll have a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd winner, and we'll definitely announce you know, the reasons why we picked those winners. So, are there any questions about that and like what's required in terms of being eligible for the grand prizes or any of that? No? Okay. Okay. So final reminders and then Q&A. Just write down my final reminders. If you have not signed up for your body scans yet, you can do that at the front desk. The next time you're in, we always maintain that schedule at the front desk. Again, we'll probably be stacking you guys pretty close together. We may be getting in like 2-3 people in a 15-minute slot since we're just popping you on that machine to get that reading. So, if you've not already signed up for the challenge, you can do it tonight. We can get you taken care of at the front desk. Schedule your one-on-one consult. Delaney and I are going to create those Facebook groups tomorrow, and we'll pop our Calendly scheduling links on that Facebook page so that you can schedule those in. Those are going to be 15-minute meetings, one at the beginning and then one at the end. So I want to make sure you guys feel like you're individually and personally supported as well. In addition to amongst your team, there may be specific questions that you have that we want to give you some privacy to have conversations to get specific details for you. Get familiar with the challenge app and the journal. Those are kind of like your 2 pieces of homework tonight in the next couple days. Take your before photos. Please do that. It won't disqualify you for not, but just please do it. And then think about your nutrition plan. What strategy is going to be, set you up for success, and how, if you have any questions on that, how can our team support you? We want you to be prepared going into the challenge starting next Monday, so you've got a little bit of time here to get yourself organized. Questions? That was a lot of me just talking and not questions, guys. There's got to be questions out there.
Is there a reason you stack the red team with all the best coaches?
No comment.
Debo and I have been battling all day about this.
Really riled me up.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Competition is on. Yeah, it's gonna be our first challenge team and individual winner. So I don't know if you guys have seen the kettlebells that are on top of the merchandise rack, but people are going home with those when they win. I mean, and hopefully you proudly display them at home. Okay, thanks for being here, you guys. Samples if they're not out, which I think they are. Yeah, snacks of those.